This is Hidden Killers Week in Review.
A look back at the most prolific stories of the week.
Welcome to the podcast. If you'd like to listen to an ad-free version of this episode and all of our episodes, then search True Crime Today Premium Plus on Apple Podcasts and press subscribe. That's our premium channel where all of our ad-free and advanced episodes live, all in one place. True Crime Today Premium Plus. Search it on Apple Podcasts and press subscribe. Even try it for 3 days free.
Not all monsters are under the bed. Some are sleeping next to you. Welcome to Hidden Killers with Tony Brueski, featuring retired FBI Special Agent and Chief of the Counterintelligence Behavioral Analysis Program, Robin Dreeke.
The case against Sean Diddy Combs, there's so many facets to this. And how far back does it go? Quite a ways. One of the big facets in this case is that shooting that took place in 1999 at a New York club, which Jennifer Lopez was there with Diddy, as was one of Diddy's up-and-coming protege artists at the time. His name is Shine, and he would have been pretty big news had he not gone to prison for 10 years and taken the rap for Diddy's shooting. He's come out now on the other side, far better, I think, than most of the bad boy family. He is actually considering running as prime minister of Belize, has completely come out of jail and said, you know what, I'm not going to let this hold me down. I'm going to go do good in this world. So a happy ending there. But we go back to that initial day in 1999 in that shooting where he took the rap for Diddy. Joining me to discuss, Robin Dreeke, retired FBI Special Agent, Chief of the Counterintelligence Behavioral Analysis Program. Let's talk about that. I mean, this shows, you know, Diddy's out for himself. All the way back in 99, probably always has been out for himself. And his friend, his protege, ends up going down as Diddy is acquitted on those charges for 10 years. Even the woman who was shot has flat out said, it was Diddy who shot me. It's an interesting thing to look at all these years later, and it makes me kind of wonder, are we going to see this reinvestigated with potentially new evidence that's been found? What's your thoughts on where this could go?
Yeah, maybe. It's my mind automatically goes to what inspired him to, or anyone to take the rap for someone like that. Mm-hmm. And again, that's that exercise. And Diddy was really good at this and still is good at this, as we're seeing with potential claims of jury tampering and witness tampering. Well, not jury, but witness tampering and stuff, is that his ability to manipulate thoughts and opinions of others through his use of power and the aura of it was pretty profound. And that's what happened in this case, I'm guessing. Mm-hmm. So my mind initially goes to that. And then reinvestigation. Boy, I've been really thinking about this hard, you know, when we're thinking about continuing covering this case. As we keep saying, there's so much here with him. Again, I'm just trying to put my mind in the mindset of the prosecutors, of the assistant U.S. attorneys that are dealing with this. They have so much volume that in my mind, they're probably in a massive filtering mode. And so there's so many allegations, there's so many potential crimes, and this being one of them. I think they will explore it and investigate it if there's hard data points, because at this point, they're going to go for things, I won't call it low-hanging fruit, but they're going to go through a process of elimination, because they're not going to be able to prosecute everything. There's no way. There's just the volume's too high. So they got to go for hard evidence and hard data points, like all the accusers that are coming out against him. They're gonna not invalidate anyone's opinion about what happened to them at his hands, but what they're going to do is they're going to go for hard evidence, like who has video, who has photos, who has actual physical evidence in some form or other, and it's going to be the same in this part of it as well, I think.
That's the interesting thing with a case like this is how does that work on the investigation standpoint, where it's just so much, almost you have too much to look at. And there's only so many people, and you already got these other charges over here. You could have more charges over here if you really wanted to dig, but is there kind of a certain point where you go, he's going to go down on this, guaranteed pretty much? Is it worth our time and effort anymore, or the cost to taxpayers to prosecute someone on this other crime? What if that was the only crime involved? Of course it would be, but because there's so many other things, It's just, it's old news at the end of the day. And even if there is new evidence, there's already things that are going to put him away.
Yeah, you hit most of them right there. Again, this wasn't my area wasn't the criminal side. It was the espionage side, which is criminal, but it's a little bit different nuance. I dealt with different courts. But yeah, they're basically looking at the prosecutor, because everything comes down to what is the federal prosecutor willing to do? What do they think they can bring before the judge? What do they think they can bring before a jury and actually prosecute? Especially when you're dealing at the federal level, a prosecutor will not take a case and will not bring charges unless, in their mind, they are 100% sure they're going to get a conviction on that. And so they're going to go down the road of how many that's they need to continue to go and continue to fill out. And then part of that discussion too is discussions with the court itself, discussion also with the victims, because victims are part of this process. People that are willing to testify, people that aren't willing to testify. I mean, so there's so many moving parts. And then when you're talking about the cost of this, the cost to the taxpayers, this is immense, because every interview costs money, because it's time that you're spending doing this as opposed to doing this over here, the resources and manpower to do that. So it's hourly wages or salaries of people that are involved in that. Spaces that might have to be rented in order to conduct these interviews. I mean, it is really pretty tremendous. And so they filter. There's no doubt there's a massive filtering process going on, but it's not filtering out in a sense of letting off in any way. It's like the biggest bang for the buck they're going to bring.
In a case like this, let's just play devil's advocate for a second. Let's say Diddy gets to court and it's on the sex trafficking and all that. Not this one specifically, but let's say things work out in Diddy's favor. Let's say for whatever reason it looks like he might be getting off. Is that more incentive then at that point to go after some of these other cases that really could be prosecuted, that there is a lot of evidence for? You have the victim that says Diddy shot me. You have witnesses there. Apparently, allegedly, Jennifer Lopez may know quite a bit as well. When you have that sort of thing, do you then reignite those if it looks like it may not be going so much your way in terms of taking a criminal down by then reigniting some of these old flames, these old crimes to make sure that they do go down?
Again, conjecture and guessing on my part. In this case like this, where you have murder involved, my assumption is going to be that they're going to try to allow that to be part of what they prosecute now.
Okay.
That's just too big to let go. As long as it's not outside any kind of statutes, as long as it's not a double jeopardy kind of thing or fruit of the poisonous trend. There's all kinds of legalese things that it's not completely in my area of expertise, but what is that they will, if they can do it, because this is a high crime and misdemeanor kind of thing. I mean, you got murder in here, loss of people's lives. Yeah. If they can include it with the original, they're going to do it, because then they're not going to lose one case and try to prosecute him on something else. It's all going to be one package. There won't be like, oh, well, we failed here, so let's just redo the whole thing again and try on over in here. It's all going to be one part of one package. I think still, to me, the biggest thing they're going to go for is going to be the child sex trafficking.
Yeah, that certainly is going to be very fascinating to see what exactly comes out there. Diddy even sent a cease and desist letter for this documentary from jail, which I thought was kind of interesting. As a behavioralist, you have someone who's behind bars. He's sending a cease and desist letter about something that factually happened and people have every right to talk about. What does that tell you about, Diddy?
I don't know if he really registers he's behind bars.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the mindset is like the location is right, but the mindset still hasn't wrapped around and taken accountability for what's going on in his life potentially. And also I liked these. I read it as well. The judge is questioning rightfully, how's he communicating? I mean, that he's in jail. How come we don't hear from everyone behind bars like this? Is there special treatment going on here? I mean, so there's a lot here that. The fact that he's able to do certain things from behind bars really troubles me. I don't like it. In other words, is he treated the same as every other prisoner that's awaiting trial? I don't know. Because again, I don't know the answer to that one, but the fact he's able to send it out is what is troubling to me. And the fact that he did send it out with that kind of presumption that he's right. I mean,
it's like the bravado that he used to have and the power that he used to yield. I don't know that. I mean, this kind of shows, I think, a lot of us that he still thinks he's that person, or he still thinks that's there. And I don't know that he'll ever not think that, quite honestly.
That'll be interesting, won't it? That'll be really interesting because, like, if so again, let's put on our thinking cap, our thought experiment. So let's play it forward. So here's Diddy. Let's hypothesize he's convicted and he now is sentenced. Say he's sentenced to life. Is he going to be in a general prison population? Or is there going to be some sort of deal where he can get special treatment because of who he is behind bars, because of threats to his life?
Yeah.
So will he really have the type of prison life that, a Ted Bundy did? I don't know.
Well, and how long can you give special treatment to someone? I mean, at some point, doesn't that run out? Doesn't it, like, okay, you've been here it was a high profile case. You were once this person, but now this is you. It's time to go to the general population.
You would think. Yeah, I think so. But don't know. I honestly do not know on this one.
Of course, he's still trying to get out on bail. Those all being denied left and right. It has been fascinating, though, that he's attempted now 4 times with 4 different bizarre scenarios that, again, very arrogant, very grandiose, thinking, oh, yes, the judge will give him special treatment to go live in this penthouse or to go live on his island or to go do this or that. And you can watch me and all. I mean, it's just, no. Why? Yeah. Why would they? Just because your name is Sean Diddy Combs? It seems to me that's what he's resting on. And he seems to believe, just like he seemed to believe throughout most of these crimes, is that he was above the law and he would get special treatment no matter what.
And if you keep asking, you'll just get your special treatment eventually. I just keep my fingers crossed that the judge stays firm because I like it. He shouldn't be out. I mean, the fact he's able to do, and this is what I think the judge was pointing out by the questions he's asking about the communication he's able to have. What he's able to even do behind bars is troubling to me.
Yeah.
He shouldn't be just silence him. He can't talk to anyone except his lawyer. It's not good.
Yeah.
Because the potential for intimidation is really, really high. But luckily, I think there's such a group think now of survivors of him that power of that group is going to overwhelm any influence he may have on them. So my guess is behaviorally what he's going to attempt to do or is attempting to do is cherry pick the people he's going after to try to do what? Sow seeds of doubt in any jury.
Well, it seems that's been his game a little bit here lately with his birthday. There was the video of him and his kids, and the prosecution, the DA, saying this was just a ploy to get attention and to more so humanize him and use his own children for his benefit, which I thought was kind of sick. The fact that video even kind of came out that way of the birthday. On the surface, it looks innocent, but on the other end, it's like you're using your kids as a ploy to humanize you when you have such egregious, horrible crimes you're being accused of against other human beings. That's, yeah.
Yes. I'm going to, I you know me with the context factor.
Yeah.
I love throwing in here. So the behavior of him accepting it from his children is what we're really, because we don't know where it came from. Did he initiate it? Because remember, think about this. Your daughter, if you were accused of something, you would, because I know you're a good dad, and you would never want to involve your daughter like this, but she cares for you so much that she would initiate anything she could to put herself in the way. So we don't know whether the kids initiated this or it was his contrived. Now we're assuming it was him because he's a manipulative guy, but he wields a lot of influence and most likely over his children too. So it might have been initiated by the children. Granted, it was accepted by him. But again, there's a lot of different optics that you never know are quite there. That's why I love like thinking, reversing it.
Yeah.
Because it's because when you're doing cases like this, it's really important to understand the context of so many different angles and so many different optics, because eventually it's all going to come together in a courtroom. Mm-hmm. And understanding the origin story of each one of these individuals and where these things originated from is really key and critical, because that's what the prosecution is going to present to the jury. If it does go to jury trial on this, that's what we're assuming it is going to be anyway, because it doesn't look like we're going to have a plea deal. But it's important to understand, I think, all these different optics, because it gives us more to think about, I think, for a deeper understanding of what the actual nuances, and also in this case too, the depth of influence he's had over lives that surround him, including his children.
Mm-hmm. And it also kind of shows a little bit too, the apple doesn't fall that far from the tree. If you've lived a life with a parent that knows how to manipulate things, that's who you're learning from. You're going to pick up on the same skills that they are, exhibiting out there into the world.
Great example, Buster Murdoch.
Yeah.
Alec Murdoch's son. He's doing exactly the same thing. He's standing by his dad. His dad is convicted of murdering his mom and his brother. And yet he is standing firm. He's throwing himself in the line of fire to the best of his ability. So it's one of those types of situations. And we as more objective spectators stand back from that and say, what are you, nuts? Mm-hmm. But when your entire life wasn't objectively separated as a loving critic, and you were involved in that inner circle, especially if you're a child of one of these people, that effect is very, very different. And your context of what truth is very different as well. So I think it's important to remember that in these cases. It might not have been Diddy initiating, hey, come save me. It might have been the kids doing it on their own initiative.
Welcome to the podcast. If you'd like to listen to an ad-free version of this episode and all of our episodes, then search True Crime Today Premium Plus on Apple Podcasts and press subscribe. That's our premium channel where all of our ad-free and advanced episodes live, all in one place. True Crime Today Premium Plus. Search it on Apple Podcasts and press subscribe. Even try it for 3 days free.
Let's be honest. Nothing kills the thrill of a good murder mystery like a commercial for laundry detergent. It's like someone slapping a closed sign on your favorite dive bar. But you're not here for that, are you? You're here for the good stuff. So ditch the ads and upgrade to True Crime Today Premium Plus on Apple Podcasts. With True Crime Today Premium Plus, you get your crime straight. No chaser. Commercial free with extended interviews and early access. It's like getting the bartender's special when the bar's already closed. Search for True Crime Today Premium Plus on Apple Podcasts. Subscribe and drink it all in.